Hey friends, so I said in episode 1 that I was going to talk about the genetic condition that underlies so many of the chronic pain issues. So I'm now, the day, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock after I saw the neurosurgeon who said, I really think you need a second opinion, maybe Mayo Clinic, whatever, etc. I've decided I'm just going to take the next few days off. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go create. It makes me happy. I'm going to go visit places, a new place. But let me tell you a little bit about Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. In 2007, May 5th, 2007, I was diagnosed with Hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. I think now it's called type 3, all these years later. It is a chronic pain condition. It's a degenerative collagen disorder, which is this fancy way of saying the collagen structural protein. So that is like, you think of them as links. Well, my structural proteins are weak. So that means most of the things that require structure in my body are already weak by default. And that causes chronic pain. And so Ehlers-Danlos is characterized by degenerative collagen in your bones and in your joints, and chronic pain due to weakened structures and inflammation. And Ehlers-Danlos is on a spectrum where you have individuals who have short lifespans because the collagen that makes up the arteries of their heart is so weak that it balloons and there's an aneurysm and they can pass early, or they can have tears in their bowels because that collagen is necessary for the flexibility and strength of tissues. So I have what you might consider the least scary version of Ehlers-Danlos, but nevertheless, it is characterized by widespread issues. So I have a high palate, my teeth shift a lot, my bones grind against each other, my cartilage, I've had 15 surgeries, and it is genetic, so it is autosomal dominant, which means that there's a 50% chance that you can get it, and then 50% chance I could pass it on if I had a child, which is one of the reasons I chose not to have a child. Another reason I chose not to have a child is because the specialist said that, when you give birth, your hips widen, but also it could put too much pressure on your arteries and veins, and you could have some complications, and it was dangerous. And so I chose not to have children for those reasons. So that is underlying the pain that I have, and the ever-present, ever-constant desire to mitigate the pain. And I've spent most of my adult life since the age of 19 when I was in a car accident that really damaged things badly and sort of catapulted this cascade of injury. I've spent most of my life, 15, 16 surgeries in like 20 years, 22 years. I mean, some years I had no surgery, but then I have CAT scans, or I was dealing with something else, or uterine fibroids, and I've got growth on my thyroid. So unfortunately, I feel like I'm always putting a finger in a dam that's got something that's like the pressure and the pressure of the water, if you imagine, behind a dam that's weakened, is always there, and I'm sort of putting my finger in the holes to make sure that it just doesn't go boom. And it's a relentless struggle, and but it's what I deal with. And on the flip side, it's important to maintain as positive an outlook, and I would consider myself pragmatic, probably thanks to becoming an attorney, but also I'm positive by nature. I'm really curious, and I'm an optimist. And we know research says that optimists, having a more optimistic attitude, generally will set you up for a greater appreciation of resiliency, the ability to bounce back, and gain in wisdom. And so that's my story. I felt really defeated yesterday after meeting with the doctor because I had an expectation of, okay, this might really finally be the solution. And he said he's not sure. So we'll try again and we'll keep going. And meanwhile, I have the immediate need of getting some headache medicine because I am now several weeks out from having my headache medicine I normally have every 4 weeks. But I've got to call insurance, I've got to get the new doctor, I've got to go to CVS. It's all these, they're not difficult things to do, but when you're already feeling all the pressure, it's a lot. but it will pass. Been through that a few times. So if you suffer from Ehlers-Danlos out there, I understand you and I see you. We also know that those with chronic pain struggle with loneliness, because who understands what it's like except someone who deals with that every day? It can feel very lonely. And all we can do is share and talk about it and just acknowledge what it is. We don't have to fix it. We don't have to we just sit with it. I am here at Serena Vista Park. This is right over there is Matlacha Isles, and then on the other side is Pine Island. They were completely devastated in Hurricane Ian, and all of this mangrove used to be super green, and it's still brown, but it's coming back. You can see sign damage. They're starting to put up electric poles over here, so I haven't been able to ride my bike, which is not a big deal, but it's not safe. But just typically there's manatees that come around here, but I don't see any today. So this is called Florida snow, by the way. Just flowers. It's actually really pretty. It's weeds, but it's pretty. So I don't have any complaints. I like that kind of snow. All right, let's talk about disappointment and expectations. Hopefully you can hear me. I don't have my headphones today, but taking a break on a ride. So when it comes to chronic pain, and I have experienced this since I was 19 and had my first major injury, and then woke up with headaches and headaches and headaches. I had a conversation with a friend years ago. Don't ever have expectations for anyone, for anything, or anything in your life. Now, I don't completely agree with that, but I do understand letting go of the expectations so the disappointment isn't as bad when we hear something that we didn't expect, or that we can't control, or that we tried so hard. Because disappointment sucks. With this particular situation, I just went to Indianapolis and everything was pointing to the possibility of having this surgery, and this was the cause of the hole coming back in my skull. It was the cause of the pressure at the base of my skull, except that when I saw the doctor, it was disappointing. It was disappointing the way that they addressed it. It was disappointing that I had to fly when they could have called me with the results. It was disappointing that they didn't know that I needed to they wanted to do another test that I couldn't have. I was just overall disappointed, but it was disappointing to hear, you're kind of there on the line, but I don't think I can help you because it's not as bad as it's not as bad in my opinion, the doctor said, as for what I do surgery for. And my first thought was, it's my body and I'm right there on the line. Do I get a say in whether or not it's bad enough? Because they have risk reward. They won't do surgery, and I get that. Unfortunately, in my experience, surgery has almost always repaired, with the exception of this issue here on the ear, the main problem. So now I'm back at the drawing board. So I had these expectations and I was trying not to. I was trying to be positive, because most people are like, well, just go in there positive. Maybe it's not as bad as you think. But it's disappointing. It's disappointing for me because I want the pain to go away. I'm tired of the relentless pain that's been there for years. And the whole journey, and that's just the challenge of chronic pain and chronic pain management with a degenerative condition. I likely inherited this from my father's side, and he has struggled, and I see what's happened with constant pain and surgeries, and I don't want that. Now, I can't help my genetics, but I can do what I can, and I kind of feel like I hit a wall. So the disappointment's real. It's okay to feel it. It's okay to have expectations in life. Like in a relationship, we have to take the person for who they are. And expectations are set for certain things. Like, I expect respect, I expect communication, but expecting them to be someone they're not isn't realistic. So that whole teeter-totter of disappointment and expectations is it's a tough one. So a little exercise is good. One more thing, I'm a little challenged in my knee today. I've been noticing my left knee that's had 3 surgeries is really starting to ache again, and the last time I saw the surgeon, which was July of 2021, so a year and a half ago, so not quite a year and a half, he said, look, you have no cartilage left. The next step is partial knee replacement, so just call me when you are having a lot of pain. And I'm having a lot of pain and it's not recovering well, so that just doesn't feel good. going, right? Keep going, keep going, keep going. Mantra of the day, just keep going. But for the moment, I'm gonna look at Florida gray. It's not the same as Indiana gray. Back at my favorite place, CVS, I decided to dress and put makeup on today, but now it's time to deal with insurance. Round 2, more like round 50, but whatever. Okay, so don't get this. My medicine that I tried for weeks to get is actually ready, but they didn't tell me that all I had to do was come in and say, yes, I do want it. So then they put it through, it was approved, so now I have to wait because they don't have it in stock. Why couldn't they have told me that in text? They do everything else through text, like this is ready, but I don't get it. So I came in, and then the medicine that I have that's emergency medicine was like $5 last month. It's $73 this month, and everyone's been changing their tiers, even with my insurance. So now I gotta see if I can get a discount card for that one. Thankfully, I don't take that one. It's absolutely not, it's like absolute emergency. But like, really? All right, it's Friday. I'm gonna go see some family, laugh a little bit. But yeah, just, you have to be your own advocate, and you have to just ask. You just have to ask every time. This is now full shelf. Last time I was here, it wasn't. This is interesting. All right. Ooh, those look like fun. I should not have pushed the button. Do it. I don't know. What do you think? Don't worry. I didn't get the hats. Probably because it would drive me nuts. But it is really nice outside. First time seeing the beach since before Hurricane Ian. It's not here, and it's in Naples. I can't get to a beach in Fort Myers, but it's been a long time.